Nothing to see here. Let's pan down a little bit. Oh, we got chrome. So what are these? They are saddlebag racks to go with the trunk racks. Yeah, I just couldn't resist. Went to the state fair, and when you go to the state fair and it is so close to Cycle Recycle 2, you have to stop by. So I stopped by and happened to find these when the last time I went could not find any. I'll show you here just real carefully. Those will just mount right there. So I had to go to Fastenal. I went to Fastenal and I picked up stainless steel 1/4 by, I think I got the 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/4 by 1/2 inch bolts. Then I also got these washers. Let me make this a little easier on all of us. I went to fasten them, shut the fan off. I know. All that noise. I gotta stay comfortable. It's 93 degrees out right now. So I got these washers, and these washers have vulcanized rubber on one side. So these are going to get used to protect the paint, just insulators. And I got a pack of 10, but I need 8 for those racks, and I actually need 2 more, but I didn't want to buy another pack of 10. I'm going to see if I can't find something in my arsenal that I can use so that I can properly mount the luggage rack and have the luggage rack rubber mounted to that, because right now it is not rubber mounted. So that's a little on Smokey. Smokey has been doing marvelously. Glenn, he knows who he is. Glessing, I believe it is, was inquiring about when the motor's going to come out of Smokey to get the work done on it. That'll be this winter. And I also explained in the live stream that I put 130 miles on it this weekend, and then put the battery charger on it. The battery was still at 75% capacity. So I do have one leg of the stator that's bad right there. I'm about to dump this bag of washers. I don't want to do that and have to play 10 pickup. The stator's bolted to this cover, to this housing right here, and it's bolted to the back side. Well, obviously you can see I've got what? Maybe, let's get way up here. I cannot even get my pinky in there. So obviously you can't take this stator cover all the way off, or this cover, it's not the stator cover, but can't take this cover all the way off in order to replace the stator easily with it in the motorcycle without cutting a bunch of stuff out of your way. I'm not going to do that. The engine has to come out, so that's going to happen in the off season. And there's some other tips and tricks that you can use. These bikes are prone, the 1200s are prone to charging issues. This plug right here, mine happens to be in very good shape, but that doesn't matter. When I go to put the new stator in, these will get cut. This is an AMG battery, by the way. These will get cut and soldered together. That's one of the tricks that you can do, and there's a couple other things that I will do also that should just give me years and years of trouble-free service with the charging system on this bike. Let me go ahead and shut the fuel off. I did have an issue. Poured a bunch of fuel out onto the garage floor, and I thought, what the heck? Turned out it was just a fuel line on the other side, just a fuel line. Got that replaced. Fortunately, before we went anywhere, we would have run out of gas and been stranded. And it got me to be a smart boy, and this is that line. should I need it, and I carry the tools that I would need to do that. That's something that's going to get done, but I wanted to carry it with me while we were riding just in case. I've got 63,662 miles on it now. I've put quite a number of miles on it. Lisa and I just really love hopping out on this thing. I can ride it for a good long while and not have any discomfort, which is just awesome. I think my Harley Sportster riding days are long gone. She's even getting real adept at getting these armrests up and out so that she can hop on out. She slides and glides right off there just like a boss. She does a great job. This rack and these trunks have a tendency to, the bottoms will collapse on them and they'll break. This one's in good shape. Bearing that in mind, when this custom rack here was made, right across here, the bottom valance was taken off. It's really hard to even notice that there's something missing there, but there's just a little piece that goes right down here. You can see the lip, that little lip right there, that where that piece is missing. And when I went to Cycle Recycle 2 this past Saturday, I forgot to ask Robert if he happened to have, or Rob if he happened to have one, or Jonathan. So give me just a second. That's my woman. It is 5 bells. She should be getting off of work, so I'm going to talk to her for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're still talking about Smokey here, and this is an update video. You guys seem to appreciate the update videos, wanting to know what's going on. Something else that I happened to find at the at Cycle Recycle. Careful, there's a stool there. I was wanting to make Miss Zippo more comfortable. Rather than just having foot pegs, we went and got her a real nice pair of riding boots, but we wanted to upgrade these as well. So I found one. Which one is this? That's the left. I found one footrest, and it's correct for the 1200, and it bolts. You use the muffler hanger bolt there, you use the trunk brace bolt there, and then you use the existing footrest bolt. Those 3 points are where those 3 holes are. 1, 2, 3. So I found that one, and I'm hunting and pecking. I really need to shoot a video of that place inside. It's just incredible. You have to carry a flashlight with you though. So I'm hunting and pecking. While I was hunting and pecking was when I found those, and then lo and behold, the other one showed up. So now I've got the pair. But then became the issue, of course, you take these bolts out and they're too short, so you have to get longer bolts. Well, they're a near obsolete metric size, 10.125. 10 by 125 instead of 1.5, which is what they usually are as far as the thread pitch goes. So I had to special order those, and I wanted to be sure that I ordered, and where did I put them? They should be down in here. I ordered black oxide Allen head because the clearance on those holes is really tight, so I'll be putting Belleville washers in there. And Belleville washers are essentially lock washers, but they're not a split ring. So anyway, we'll be putting those on as soon as I get a call from Fastenal that the parts that I needed came in, because they didn't have them in stock. These are a standard M8 1.25, okay? But an M10 1.25 is not nearly as common a screw. But these will be the ones that mount right here in this screw. These are 10 by 1.25, so same thread pitch as the M8s, but they're M10s. So as soon as we get those in, we'll be able to get these on, and they should be here before the weekend, which is always a good thing, because I want my woman to be comfortable when she's riding. Obviously she has got to be comfortable sitting back there behind me. I mean, all she's doing is looking at the back of my head, so least I can do is keep her comfortable. But back to Glenn's thing. When the engine does come out, we will do a video series on taking the engine out. You look right here, you can see that there's a split in the frame right there. You take these two bolts out and you got a couple up front to take out, but that whole piece comes with the engine. When you take the engine out, the engine has to go forward and then out. There's a lot of other stuff that you have to do. So I've got all the parts that I'm going to need, so that when I go to put it back together, we're going to have all new gaskets on the intake runners. We're going to have all new intakes, crush rings for the exhaust manifold, new gasket for the pan for here. Yeah, everything that I'm going to need is there, plus new fork seals, so the fork seals are also going to get replaced. This fork seal over here is really bad. The one on the other side is okay. But what else? I'm going to round it out as far as what's going on with Smokey. That pretty well brings you guys up to date. As soon as I get the racks on there, I'll pop the camera back on. Really all I'm gonna do, the only thing I need to make sure that I do is leave enough clearance so that I can lift these up and off. But you only have to lift them about 3/8 of an inch, so it really doesn't matter where I position them. So, but they do, of course, me being anal, they will have to be even on both sides in the exact same spot. So these are just gonna get laid up here. Then I'm gonna use my blue tape and do a layout, drill 4 holes and bolt those suckers in place. So once I get that done, I'll pop the camera back on. But before I do that, you can see the paint here is just atrocious. So I'm also going to work over the paint a bit here on the lid and clean that up. So these ought to look a little bit better the next time you see them with those mounted. Can't have a bunch of bling on them and have crappy looking paint underneath, right? That just looks bad. So let me get busy doing that. When I get done, I'll crack the camera back on and show you what's up. Alright gang, it's the next day. I had a serious wave of nausea come over me as I was compounding the trunk lids. So anyway, let's take a real close look at the conditions. Get the light just right here. There we go. You see, we've got a lot of scratches and it's just, it's not looking really great. Alright, so that's what we're trying to eliminate before we put the racks on top of them. So this one, I've just gone over the top surface. Let me dust it off. Just went over the top surface 2 times. I'm going to go over it a couple more times, but you saw that one. And that's just compound, and this one was worse. So you can see, you know, there's a little bit of a haze that's from the compound grit, but when you compare, see how fuzzy everything is? When we come back, we've got everything is a lot clearer. And again, that's just with compound, it's not been polished yet. I'm going to finish going over both of these now that I'm feeling a little better. We'll see what they look like in the end. Then we'll mask them off and get those racks put on them. So stay tuned. A little bit more compounding on this thing. A little goes a long way. Before I get started, I gotta tie myself up. Haha. You see all the spatter? Just saves my clothes a little bit. Rather spatter it on this old USA made Craftsman apron, eh? Alright. Real slow speed to start. And just spread stuff around. I've got it sitting on a rubber mat to just help keep it stable while I'm compounding. And I spritz the surface with a little bit of water. This helps distribute the compound a little bit better. So I'm going to keep going on this a little bit. It's like watching paint dry. When I get this done, I'll pop the camera back on. Alright, we finished polishing them up. Going to get these positioned. There's a weld here. They have drain holes on them in case they get full of water. So I'm going to position the weld obviously towards the back. And they need to be in a spot where they're going to clear the armrest coming up. They only have to lift up just a tiny bit to come forward. So I'm going to line them pretty much with the inside radius, even with the midway point on the radius here. That's just where I'm going to locate them. And then I'm going to center these two with those two. That's just me being anal. So I'm going to get her moved in where I want it. And I'm going to mark around where the bolt or where the nuts are. Then we'll just go from there. Hang on, I got to get a pin. If we get them marked, we can pull it up. It's not easy to get in there. We can pull the covers off and just center drill right in the center of those partial circles that I'm putting on there. So I'm going to lather, rinse, repeat on the other side, and we'll see you as soon as we get those mounted. Alright, there we go. Kind of nice to be able to work on my own stuff sometimes. And plenty of clearance. Everything fits really, really well. I'm digging it. Now, it's more for show than go, but they are there in the event that I need them. And boy, doesn't that paint just look awesome. Makes the rest of the paint look crappy. May have to pull that rack off and just buff the whole bike. And then there's that one. Looking pretty good if you ask me. Anyway, this is just one about Smokey. I know you guys are anxious for tractor videos, so don't fret. I'll get on one here pretty quick. Zippo later. Give me one of those. I'm out.